Yeah.
She's getting every single bone out of her little metal box, and I can see it blipping in Audacity. The living room is, you can't really see them, but there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 bones and 2 ropes out here right now. She's gotten every single one. She's
making
out.
like a seance circle, like a pentagram of bones. Don't you have a podcast studio? Like, aren't you building like a fully standalone like podcast studio? You're in your living room? What is this? Some kind of amateur production?
Yeah, come on,
Hans.
It's like you don't even make money off of this.
Anyway.
Yeah, we make $2 Australian a month off of this.
We're packing hot dogs for the road. This is exactly what the nerds want.
A friend got burned.
I see dead.
Welcome to In Over Our Heads, Season 2, M. Night Shyamalan.
Yeah.
I'm Aaron.
I'm Zach.
I'm Hans.
What are your capital T
This
thoughts?
episode, we are talking about The Village, M. Night Shyamalan's 2004 romance, suspense, thriller thing, The Village, which I can summarize as a bunch of redheads with trauma become Amish and start a village.
The titular village.
The titular village. And it is fascinating to me. I want to get through the synopsis as quickly as possible. Firstly, the cast on this thing is
wild.
Ridiculous.
It is crazy.
This movie stars Bryce Dallas Howard, Joaquin Phoenix, Adrian Brody, William Hurt, Sigourney Weaver, Brendan Gleeson, Cherry Jones, Celia Watson, John Christopher Jones, Frank Collison, Jane Atkinson, Judy Greer, Franz Kranz, Michael Pitt, Jesse Eisenberg is in here, Charlie Hoffheimer. I think those are like the big ones.
I am
every single time a character was introduced, like every time, you're just like, wait, what?
I am very glad though that you specified it stars blank 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 and Jesse Eisenberg is here, because that is like this movie.
That's pretty much how it goes.
This movie for me was not The Village. This movie for me was Where's Wally, but with Jesse Eisenberg. Like he would be out
every
of focus
time Jesse
in the
Eisenberg came on
background.
screen. Oh, there he is.
I'm like, oh, there's Jesse Eisenberg. There he is. He has like one line of dialogue, and you hear it, and you're like, yeah, that's Jesse Eisenberg.
Yeah. So the story here, as it goes, it's kind of the first like half of the movie is just a meditation on all these different characters and just showing how they interact with each other. Yeah. And there's not much of a plot to the film. You're just kind of getting the vibes for the first half hour, 45 minutes, until the center point of the movie where the whole thing turns and it gets a plot. So I'm going to have to talk about the characters for a second, and then we'll get to the plot. Anyway, Bryce Dallas Howard is a mostly blind young woman living in this village, which looks like late 18th, early 19th century America. In this village, also Joaquin Phoenix, who plays Lucius Hunt, who's a soft-spoken, strong, silent type, who is kind of Ivy's unspoken protector. He looks out for her, tries to take care of her. Adrian Brody is in what this period of history would call like the town idiot.
Yeah.
He has like some problems going on. He has some developmental issues, but he like people take care of him and they're patient with him and you try to be nice to him. There is like a council of elders, and that's where all like the big names are. It's where like your William Hurts and your Sigourney Weavers and your Brendan Gleesons are. That's where like the big actors are, and they like manage the village. And there are a lot of scenes of them getting together and just talking about issues and like hearing questions and requests from people. In this village, you are not allowed to leave the village. There are like these stakes on the outside of the village where there are like torches and yellow flags and things. You're not allowed to go outside the village into the forest. So there was actually one of my favorite Letterboxd reviews of this movie was me and my friends in our little Minecraft server. That was one of my favorite reviews on Letterboxd. That was awesome. Liked that one immediately. As the characters are interacting here and you just see a little bit of their life, they live a very simple life. They're like maybe a couple hundred people max in this village.
Less.
Oh, I got the vibe. It
yeah.
was like 15 people max.
Yeah.
Well, so there's a wedding scene, and there are like 200 people in that greenhouse.
Oh, there are
dancing.
200.
No.
That's a tall
There's like
order.
60.
It might be 50.
Anyway, it's not many. It's not many people. And they have very strict rules about not leaving the village because of those we don't talk about, the ones we don't speak of. They're like these monsters living out in the woods around the village. And there's an agreement with them that you don't leave the village and they don't come in. But strange things have been happening and people think that the monsters are coming into the village. But people are trying to live their lives. They're just trying to go about their lives. It's weird. They're like the monsters are out in the forest and might be coming into the village and like messing stuff up. But no one seems to care about that much unless it's actively happening. They're mostly concerned about relationships. They spend most of their time talking, like gossiping about who's engaged to
So
whom.
much gossip.
And it's a lot of gossip. I kind of liked that. Not to get into my editorializing yet, but anyway, there are like crazy monsters in the woods and all people can talk about is town gossip. So then at a certain point, Joaquin Phoenix is engaged to Bryce Dallas Howard. And this is all wonderful. People like this. And then Adrian Brody's character, Noah, who had a crush on Bryce Dallas Howard, he doesn't quite understand what he's doing, but he knows he's angry, and he ends up stabbing Joaquin Phoenix. This is like the halfway point of the movie. Then we get the plot. So Joaquin Phoenix is still alive, but he has an infection and he needs medicine from quote unquote the towns. So the people of this village are aware of there are larger settlements in the outside world, and they have things that the village does not have, but to get there would be dangerous because you have to go through the forest and you have to request permission from the town elders the village elders to go to the towns. You have to get permission to do that. Bryce Dallas Howard, although she is blind, requests permission and gets permission to go out into the forest, go to the towns, and get medicine to bring back to Joaquin Phoenix.
Did she request it? I think her dad just told her to go.
She asked her dad, who was one of the
She didn't request
elders.
the elders. She requested her dad is like the lead elder, but she said like I will do whatever you wish. Like,
Okay, got it. Okay.
But he was like, you can do it, but keep it a secret from everyone else.
Yeah, so he just made an executive decision to allow her to go do that. Then he reveals to her that the monsters out in the woods are fake. They were made up by the village elders to keep everyone in the village. And every now and again, one of the elders will dress up as a monster to scare people and to keep them in the village. And then she is sent through the forest. She is at one point attacked by Adrian Brody, who found one of these monster costumes and tried to attack her. And she tricks Adrian Brody into falling into a pit, and he falls to his death.
To be clear, she doesn't know it's Adrian Brody.
She doesn't know it's Adrian Brody. She is blind. And she thinks it might be a real monster. Who knows? Her dad claimed that the monsters that they made up are based on like real monsters. That I have something to say about that, but I won't editorialize yet. She eventually gets to the other side of the forest, has to climb over a fence, and finds herself near Philadelphia in 2004. It is the year of our Lord 2004, and a park ranger happens to be driving by, takes pity on her, goes and grabs medicine from like the ranger post, which is staffed by M. Night Shyamalan, because of course it is. This park ranger grabs the medicine, gives it back to Bryce Dallas Howard, who takes it back to the village as the village elders are consulting, shall we continue this farce or not? They are debating amongst themselves, will they continue it? And then Bryce Dallas Howard walks into the room with the medicine. Joaquin Phoenix is saved. And we don't get a verbal, we are going to continue or we are not going to continue the farce.
Kind of, not a verbal one, but you get a confirmation.
Yeah, the farce will
like
continue.
At the right at that tail end, they like people are flying around, rumors are swirling through the town, like, oh, she killed one of the beasts out in the forest. And the kid's parent, like Noah's parents, who are some of the elders, they start to cry. They're like, "Oh my god, our kid just died."
Yeah,
and
which for the rest of the village, it's a great success. We killed one of the monsters.
The lead elder, Ivy's dad, tells them like he died to like his death will keep this lie alive. And
if we're willing to use it,
we can.
This is kind of proof that the monsters are real.
Exactly. And everybody stands up and they all kind of nod their heads.
Yeah. I think if you really wanted to, you can interpret the end as, okay, we're going to end the farce, but I do think the main... They don't officially say anything. I think maybe the intention was to be able to interpret it either way, but we can debate that. What did y'all think, though? Overall impressions. What'd you give it on Letterboxd? Go Hans.
Go Hans.
No, so I liked it. It was fun. Here. It was fun. I had a good time watching it. It was goofy. The whole like first half of the movie where they're just establishing and then establishing some more and then kind of over establishing all the relationships of everybody in this town. You kind of get the vibe.
You get
that,
to
like,
know everybody.
Yeah, something's not quite right, but they really don't launch into the action until halfway. Just like Aaron said, you're stuck
it's almost
there.
exactly the 50% mark.
You're
where
stuck
it's
there.
like, oh, plot now, by the way.
A blind girl wandering through the woods for another 40 minutes.
Okay, but you get what I mean, right? Like
yes.
You are given the vibe for a solid like 50 minutes that something's gonna happen any minute now. Something's gonna happen. Oop, that seemed a little weird. Something's gonna happen. Something's gonna happen.
Yeah.
And the whole time it's like, ooh, I'm gonna marry this boy, but I haven't actually told him that I like him yet. And you're just listening to Judy Greer talk about how like goofy and silly she is. And
okay, but the hard cut when she asks Joaquin Phoenix to marry
that
her,
was so
and it
good.
just cuts to her like scream crying. That was great. That was like my favorite part of the movie. Judy Greer's
little tiny bit of context there. Joaquin Phoenix is in love with Ivy, but her sister Judy Greer, I can't remember her character's name. She says to her father, "You get this whole exactly." Well, she plays basically the same character. It's really really funny. You can't take her seriously at all. She talks to you get this like drawn out scene of her talking to her dad about the village elder about how she really likes this boy and she's going to marry him, but she hasn't told him that yet, and she's asking her dad permission to set up like a wedding ceremony.
And her dad's like, all right.
Dad's like, all right, but you gotta tell him first. Like, he kind of has to be a part of it. And that's exactly what she's all like giddy and excited and like squealing and stuff. And then you get that hard cut to her sobbing.
Just like wailing.
Yes.
And like that in and of itself is not funny. But man, that hard cut, just knowing like Joaquin Phoenix playing Joaquin Phoenix in this movie, like the sort of sullen loner, doesn't really talk much, cares very deeply about specific people, but doesn't show it like unless it's really important to show it. So just that smash cut to sobbing, knowing he turned her down.
Would be helpful to know that the director of photography for this was Roger Deakins.
Yes, the GOAT, the legend,
who did
my man.
1917, Blade Runner, Hail Caesar, Sicario, Skyfall.
Yep.
Did Doubt, like 1,000 super famous, beautiful movies. Oh Brother, Where Art Thou? Big Lebowski. Like Shawshank Redemption.
Probably in like the top 5 most important still living people just in the world of film, ultimately, I would say.
So pretty much everything here is gorgeous to look at.
Great framing.
We're going to talk...
I'm sure we're going to talk about the colors, it's all beautiful.
I'm sure we're going to talk about like the drawbacks and the, the problems with the script and the story and the direction and all of the things all the things we're going to talk about with Shyamalan.
What? Does this movie have that? I don't know.
Well, we'll get there. But the way it looks, the way it flows, the way it was shot, the way everything, it's just like it's incredible. Like the whole set, this little idyllic village in the middle of a forest is like it's really really cool.
It oozes vibe. Like it's
a lot of vibes. We've addressed
so
the
much
vibes.
vibe.
Yeah. No, so I liked it.
What would you give it as a star rating?
I'd give it probably 3.5 stars.
Okay.
I'd say 3.5 out of 5. I liked it. It was an interesting story. We'll talk about twist or not twist.
Yeah.
I think it had a twist.
Twist.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously it does. Like the whole idea, you find out you're not actually in the 18th century, you're in today. And the whole thing was that the elders were people in this like support group for people who have experienced extreme trauma. And they said, we just want to screw it. We're going to get away from all of it. And I keep not remembering his name, but they're Ivy's dad, the lead elder. He's like a billionaire and just has this giant, enormous plot of crazy amounts of land surrounded by a fence that he pays people to keep as a nature preserve and not let people in. They have it designated as a no-fly zone. Like there's a whole intricate workings of how this works.
Yeah.
I had a good time. So I really don't have too much more to say. I know, Aaron, you're dying to talk about it, so we should probably
I want to hear Zach's thoughts first. Yeah.
Yeah, no, okay. Yeah, I agree with everything. I would say it was like pretty decent. I would give it like 3 stars out of 5. Better than The Lady in the Water that we just watched last week.
Definitely.
I think Bryce Dallas Howard is better in this as like, the lead of like, both of these movies.
Yeah. That's not her fault though for the
No.
one.
Yeah. No, to be clear. But
She doesn't have much to do in Lady in the Water.
quite literally not. Yeah, she definitely carries this much more. So yeah, I thought it was pretty good. I agree. Like it is very vibes heavy. For the first like hour, 15 minutes, I was basically just like, this kind of feels like The Witch, but also kind of feels like I wish I was watching The Witch instead, which is also like very vibes, like family out in the middle of the woods.
I can't agree with that. I can't let that.
Because you don't like scary movies. You don't like The Witch because you don't like scary movies.
The vibes here were like, ooh, that's kind of creepy. Ooh, that's kind of interesting. Ooh, there's like a lot more to come. The vibes in The Witch are, I hate this, 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 I hate
For
this.
you, yeah.
It was awful.
No, I like The Witch because it's vibes, but the whole vibes you really feel on Razor's Edge. This feels like it's going for a similar thing. Like it's kind of thriller horror, but it's also it just feels like more waiting around. I'm like, okay, something's gonna happen. Right?
I have thoughts about
something's gonna happen, right?
I think that's on purpose.
It takes a while.
I think that's on purpose. I don't think that's a mistake. I think
I don't think it's a mistake. I think it's on purpose, but it's still something's gonna happen, right? I understand it's for the first hour. It's setting up to be a vibes piece, and then it's like a brief, kind of hero's journey that then leads into like this twist. It is very funny that the twist is like, I went to these extreme lengths to create like an Amish style 18th century cult out in the middle of the woods. I went to all this effort because of the horrors of just experiencing the city of Philadelphia. I'm not sure. What did you mean by that? Shyamalan, what did you mean by that? It was fine. 3 out of 5. I definitely like, while I think there are a lot of good performances, this unfortunately for me, this is a certain thing that when you have just like a whole bunch of names in a big movie, like sometimes it works. Sometimes I'm still captured by the magic of the movie. Sometimes I'm just like, that's Brendan Gleeson. Like this definitely feels like one of those movies where it felt like the actors didn't I don't know how to say this. I feel like it was a very mixed bag. I feel like Sigourney Weaver was just like, oh yeah, Sigourney Weaver is Alice Hunt. Like she is this lady living in this village. She was great. But then every time like Joaquin Phoenix shows up, like it, even just like the wardrobing, like there was like these very fun period accurate costumes that were like, you could tell were well made. And then Joaquin Phoenix just showed up in like a vest. And I'm like, that's just, Joaquin Phoenix just showed up on set wearing that. I don't like.
So
Adrian Brody would show up and I'd be like, he was in his like Oscar winning like piano movie like 2 years ago and now he's doing this.
Yeah.
I'm like, yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Okay. I gave it 4 stars and a heart on Letterboxd.
Okay. It worked for you. I'm glad.
I really like this movie a lot. The more I think about it, the more I like it.
I do think I will like this movie more tomorrow thinking about it than I did today watching it. If that's anything. I will
immediately finishing the movie, I gave it 3.5 stars, and then like 20 minutes later, I'm like, it was 4 stars.
Okay,
I went and changed my Letterboxd.
Yeah, I can see that.
So this is not a new observation that I'm gonna say. This is a 9/11
We don't do that
movie.
here. You're fine.
Yeah, this is an old movie. This is a 9/11 movie. The movie is about a group of people who experienced trauma, who were convinced by a billionaire to like collect themselves into this artificial society and to create a myth of danger around that society so that people don't leave it. Even though the reason they're leaving was a real danger. They did not use stories of the real dangers. They invented a new mythological danger in order to maintain their fake society. I don't think any of that is accidental. I think it is commentary on the United States in the year of our Lord 2004 and how we talk about like what we are as a village, what we are as like a people in relation to an other, like an outside world dangerous, village good. But what people want to do, there's like stuff going on in the outside world and there's dangers and it comes up. But what people spend most of their time doing is gossiping and like just talking about relationships and getting into people's business. Like that's what they spend most of their time doing until the danger becomes present to them. And in the village, the danger didn't come from outside. The danger came from the fear of the outside, right? So Joaquin Phoenix gets stabbed out of jealousy, not out of like, he wasn't hurt by a monster or anything. He was stabbed because a man was jealous about his relationship with a woman. That's what actually kicked off the plot. It had nothing to do with being in the village. What being in the village actually did was make it more difficult for Joaquin Phoenix to be healed, because the village was cut off from the rest of the world. And it took a blind woman bravely just walking through the woods to get to the other side of the fence that we had built, that the billionaire had convinced everybody that they should build around their society in order to get the medicine that was necessary to save his life. And at the end of the movie, everyone decides, hey, this isn't worth it. And they come out of the village. And I think that's really cool. What?
100% agree with everything you just said except the tail end, because I'm sorry, I'm gonna have to say you're wrong, because it doesn't end that way. It ends with them continuing the farce.
I think it's ambiguous.
I think it's like 70-30, maybe 70-30, maybe 80-20. Like there's a room for ambiguity if you choose it, but it definitely leans towards they continue the farce. Like, I'm with Hans on that.
Anyway, even whatever they choose with the farce,
right.
I think it's about the farce, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Yes.
I think the movie is about the farce, this invented danger. In response to a real danger, in response to real trauma, we invent a new danger and are convinced by a man of immense wealth to create a history. So you talked about how, like, the costumes and stuff, Joaquin Phoenix is just wearing like a vest. I don't think that's accidental, because this isn't like, the village does not exist in 18 whatever. It exists in 2004. The billionaire who created this village is like a professor of history. He doesn't actually live in 19th century America, 18th century America.
He chose a time period.
Century. He just chose a time period in American history
and was like,
that
this
he
is what
thought
we're gonna
he
do.
could approximate. So like, there are scenes where people are using period-ish dialogue, but it's not perfect. Like, that is not actually what 18th century Americans spoke like. It's what like a guy's idea of 18th century Americans sounded like.
Yeah.
So I noticed this especially from Sigourney Weaver, because I think she's a brilliant actress. I think she pulled this off really, really well. Is that when she is speaking to her son, Joaquin Phoenix in this case, and is getting like flustered, it slips a little bit, and her cadence with like the period dialogue slips, and it sounds a little bit more modern, a little bit more awkward. And I think that was like a conscious acting choice.
Mm-hmm.
So you're saying it's like,
it's actually one of the things.
It's like when you vacation Colonial Williamsburg.
Yes. Yes. Yeah. And so that was one of the things that I was thinking about some of her scenes early in the movie, like some of the vibes scenes early in the movie. And I'm like, everything about this movie, like all these really famous people in it, the budget that obviously went into this, the sumptuousness of the frame. If this were really set in 18th or 19th century America, like they would have had a dialogue coach to tell them how to deliver this dialogue properly, and this ain't it. I'm pretty sure this is not taking place. I'm pretty sure this is in modern day, and then I was right. That was like the first thing that tipped me off to it, was that the dialogue was not period accurate, because it's not meant to be period accurate, because it is a reconstruct. It is something that gives the filmmakers leeway to get stuff wrong in historical accuracy, because in the fiction it is a recreation. Like it's not actually a period piece. The people, especially the elders in this village, they're actors. They're all actors. They're making it up, and so they speak to each other differently than they speak to the rest of the village.
Yeah, for sure.
They're like speaking like a pseudo period dialect. Yeah, and I think that was really cool, and I was enchanted by that. I thought it was really neat. I like this movie. I was really vibing with it. I liked the feel. I liked the mood. I even liked a lot of the dialogue. The characters who don't know that the village is fake are speaking in like a pseudo dialect, and it makes some of the scenes between Bryce Dallas Howard and Joaquin Phoenix, like, it adds a little bit of romance to their dialogue, the way that they speak like 18th century poets. And I think it's really cool. That's how they were trained to speak since they were little kids, in this fiction, in this made up town.
I will absolutely agree that while I was watching, I did consciously think, like, this is almost like the perfect movie for M. Night Shyamalan to write, because he is like leveraging, like, he is using the
Right.
way, like, he is writing this character, like, the writing of the character dialogue is weird and not usual, but it does 100% work. Like that,
Yeah.
I think spot on. Like, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, for sure. Until he started talking.
But in The Lady in the Water, we had the issue with the fact that half the movie was M. Night Shyamalan glazing himself. It is very funny. In this one,
No. You can't. Don't say that. No. You spend way too much time with college kids.
That half the movie is M. Night Shyamalan praising himself.
Thank you.
There we go.
We're adults.
But in this movie, it is like the most restrained Shyamalan cameo we've had. He is 1/8 of his face is in screen, out like on screen, but blurry, out of focus, and then you see like a reflection of it in like the glass of like the medicine fridge,
and like a third of it is covered by the reflection of the newspaper.
So it is very funny that it goes from that to like, hey, what's up, everybody? I'm like the genius writer who has been awakened and will save the world.
I'm Mr. Movies.
Like,
yeah,
it was a jump. So yeah, the Shyamalan's dialogue that he wrote for himself is a little bit off, but it is also like 4 lines of dialogue. So like we can,
it's fine.
That's fine.
It's fine. And so I gave it 4. I didn't give it 5 stars. I gave it 4 stars.
Wow,
I think
such
there are
restraints.
certain parts of it that are a little disjointed. That is kind of just stuff happening. Even once we get into the more plot-driven second half, like the second act of the movie, I think there are a few things that are just like, and then stuff happened. But overall, my impression of it is I really, really liked this, and we'll probably watch it again at some point. Probably not soon, but I'll watch it again at some point.
I mean, that's fair.
And I like thinking about it.
That's fair.
And
That's fair.
I think just the feel and the texture of the whole thing was great.
The one thing I do feel like maybe one reason I was a little cooler on it is because I agree with the points you're making. I think something I did struggle with for a movie that spends like the first half like so much time being a bit like restrained and being like this vibes piece. The fact that then like when it comes time to explain what's happening, it has no restraints.
Yeah.
Like, so Bryce Dallas Howard is walking through the woods. She has these 2 fellas with her to like accompany her, and they're just like big wusses. Like they just like chicken outs.
Yeah.
So this guy's like, hey, you'll actually be better off without me. If you're doing this alone, like actually this will go a lot better. So I'm gonna leave. And he just like runs away.
They're afraid of the fake danger.
Of the fake danger, of the ones we don't talk about. Which the ones we don't talk about, the first 10 minutes of that movie, they say the ones we don't talk about like 100 times. They constantly talk about the ones we don't talk about.
This is He Who Shall Not Be Named.
He who should not be named.
The ones we don't speak
But it would be
of.
like if in all of the 7 Harry Potter movies, they didn't go a single minute without saying he who should not be named. Anyway.
The ones we don't speak of and the shed we don't use is...
Oh my gosh. But it's like, oh, we have these magic rocks to protect us. And the guy's like, hey, I'm going to chicken out. I'm going to leave. And he leaves. And she just like immediately like just dumps the rocks out on the ground. And I thought that was like really cool. That's a really great way to be like, oh, wait a minute. Like, oh, she knows something. And then it just cuts to her dad walking her into the shed being like, this is a costume that we made to like pretend to be the fake things. Like, I really wish if it committed more to the restraints, if it trusted you to like connect some of the dots and didn't just have a character go, hey, here's the answer. I would like a little bit better. This is a common issue I do have with movies.
I was gonna say though, this is a complaint that we've had with several Shyamalan movies. Is the
and like, even outside of Shyamalan,
the need to explain it. To the viewer.
I do guarantee, like there's a very good chance there's a cut of this movie that is more subtle, and then they screened it to a test audience, which is a room full of the dumbest people on the planet, and they're like, I don't understand. And that, like, so it's not even necessarily his fault. Like, I wouldn't be surprised if that happened.
I do agree with you that I want Shyamalan to trust me more.
I want Shyamalan to trust me more, but I feel like also I read reviews of his movies, and I don't think you can trust the audience more necessarily. I don't trust people. Okay, I'm speaking specifically of their opinions on film. I don't trust people who don't like Shyamalan, who have just decided they don't like Shyamalan movies and just hate on all of his movies. I don't trust your opinion in film. I mean,
because he's got stuff going on.
got the
Like
juice.
he's
I mean,
doing interesting things.
I mean, I think even
what?
I was gonna say, I think even more broadly than that, like, I don't know, I'm just making up random numbers. It feels like there's like 30% of people that are just like hopeless. Like, they'll watch a movie where a character says, I'm gonna do this thing, and they're like, why did that character do that thing? I feel like there's 30% that like generally can be trusted to like catch most of the details of a movie, and then there's like 30% that just like they'll get it, they'll connect the dots. You know, those are made up numbers, but let's say, you know, it's a bell curve. I just
10%
wish
of people just don't watch movies.
I just want movies to aim themselves more at the higher end of that bell curve, is all I'm saying.
Yeah.
I want them to trust, hey, like, if you get it, you get it. If you don't get it, sucks. Like, sorry, you aren't.
Yeah.
Guess it wasn't for you.
That's-
Now the problem with that is that you can't do that
Yeah.
in a movie where you have to
Yeah.
pay Joaquin Phoenix, Adrian Brody, William Hurt, Sigourney Weaver, Brendan Gleeson. Like,
Okay, but this, but I
And
mean,
also
the
Jesse
budget
Eisenberg.
was 60
not- at
million.
this point, I don't
budget
think
was
so.
60, 70 million. It made 250.
Yeah.
It was a
bit.
success. It made its money back.
it made a lot of money. It was great. Yeah.
No, it's just from what we've seen. I mean, even like I even get these. Like it doesn't. You don't have to dig very far in these movies to
Believe
understand.
in yourself, Hans.
I'm just saying, like you don't. This isn't something where you have to
You don't need a film degree to get what's going
exactly.
on
Like
here.
you don't need to know the terms of all the advanced techniques behind like the reasons why. I can't even come up with examples. I wouldn't know
You don't
because
know,
I don't
need to know what a
those
split
things.
diopter is to get what's going on.
Exactly. Like that you don't have to dig very far, and it is just kind of a shame that you have to cater to the people who can't be bothered to dig past just the surface.
I'm pretty sure.
Either that or Shyamalan just truly doesn't trust anyone at all. It's not necessarily that he's
I
only
mean-
catering to those people. It's that he's just like, nah, nobody's gonna get it.
Okay, this is our episodely mention of Trap.
Yep.
I think he really trusted the audience in Trap, and look what that got him.
That's what I was gonna
Okay,
say.
but
I'm
what
pretty
was
sure
there to,
this
like-
is at least the third time where we've said like, "Oh, we're just like so much smarter than everybody else watching these movies."
No.
That is not my position. My position is
Sounding a little bit like
I
that.
think-
Maybe that's not on
I
purpose your
think-
position, but
no. I think Shyamalan wants to trust his audience and wants to be subtle.
and the audience says, "No,
In-
don't trust us."
And audience says, "No, how dare you?"
Stop that. You have no reason to trust
But
us.
then Shyamalan is like, okay, do I just like have the characters say how they feel out loud? And people are like, no, stop it.
Okay, but in this one, he does get away with a lot of characters just saying how they feel aloud.
A lot of characters.
I think he
do
gets
just
away
like
with it
say
this
how they
time.
feel out loud.
They will just be like, my dearest father, I am frightened and perturbed, and like that's great.
Yeah.
I love it.
That's fine.
It works here.
Because everyone in the movie, except for two characters in the entire movie, who are not doing like a period reenactment. Everybody else is a period actor, is like a Colonial Williamsburg actor. There are two characters. M. Night Shyamalan and this random park ranger are the only people who are just people in the movie. Everybody else is either explicitly or implicitly playing a character.
Right.
Yeah. My favorite example of just saying your emotions out loud was Judy Greer admitting her love to Joaquin Phoenix.
That was pretty great.
And then just being completely destroyed. Joaquin Phoenix doesn't say a word in this
He
scene.
just stares at her.
Yeah, he just is the Joaquin Phoenix character that you're expecting.
And it is like
That's
Joaquin
awful.
Phoenix plays Joaquin Phoenix, Sigourney Weaver plays Sigourney
No,
Weaver.
no, I don't think so. For Sigourney Weaver, at least. Like, what? Yeah, Joaquin Phoenix is like, you know, when Joaquin Phoenix is in a movie and he's just standing there with like the posture of dirty laundry. Like, yes, that 100%. He is just Joaquin Phoenix. I think I think she disappears into a role. I think if I'm just gonna run through the cast here, I think William Hurt does a great job. I think Sigourney Weaver does
he
a
was
great
great.
job. I think Adrian Brody. I know. It's dangerously close
It's
to
a-
Simple
it's a
Jack
rough
from Tropic
part.
Thunder.
Yes. Adrian Brody, I have in my notes, Adrian Brody is acting.
Yeah,
Like-
he is like, hey, 2 years ago, I was the youngest person to ever win the Oscar for Best Actor, and you wouldn't believe it watching this one. Sorry. I think Judy
He's
Greer is
putting
actually
in it-
great.
That's a tough role, though.
He's
Like,
putting in his all.
Okay, but also the youngest
giving it all
person
he's
ever
got.
to win an Academy Award should be able to handle a tough role, Hans.
I thought
If
for
anyone can.
I thought for most of it he did a very good job.
Yes.
There are a couple moments that I don't like. His death scene was kind of silly.
Yeah. His first, like, when they first introduced him, I literally, like, to myself, I was just like, oh, it's going to be one of those. Like, I felt forebodings of bad things to come.
It was also 2004
It was also
when playing a
2004.
Simple Jack wasn't.
This was before the
that-
Simple Jack, like, you know, before
Yeah.
they made that joke. Yes.
Yes.
I'm sorry, I love
when
Brendan
that was just a
Gleeson.
thing you could play.
I'm sorry, Brendan Gleeson. You were not August Nicholson. You were just Brendan Gleeson. Like,
His
such a
role
mixed
wasn't
bag.
that big though.
no, but it's just such a mixed
But
bag.
Brendan Gleeson is the kind of guy who just like in himself can stand on a windy hilltop.
Yeah.
Like he
Stare off
just
in the
kind
distance.
of yeah, he is just kind of the guy that when he does that, you're like, that man's in his element. Look at that
Yeah.
guy.
Yeah.
I was kind of wishing I was watching Banshees of Inisherin whenever he was on screen. I was kind of wishing I was watching. Wait, what's the other one that we're in with Colin Farrell?
Whenever he was on screen, I was like, where did they get this introspective Irish guy
In
outside of
Bruges.
Philadelphia?
Yeah, I kind of wish I was just watching in Bruges. Although there is a scene where
was great.
he and William Hurt just kind of like have their almost like we are actors like monologues at each other
Yes.
when they're like debating the merits of like sending Bryce Dallas Howard out. That part was pretty great. They were acting.
I don't know. I really liked this movie, and the reviewers will tell me I'm wrong. And you know what? I don't care.
This is my mixed. This is gonna sound like a joke, but also like somewhat genuine. I just liked this movie, just not while I was watching it. Like, you're right that actually tomorrow thinking about it, I'm probably gonna be like, yeah, there was some fun little. It wasn't like a lot to chew on, but there was like a fun little thing or two to chew on there. Like that's kind of nice to turn over in my head.
Yeah.
But that's more interesting than actually sitting down and watching this movie.
How do we think it succeeds or fails as a commentary on 9/11?
I mean, that's making the assumption it's a commentary 9/11, which I don't think has been confirmed. It doesn't say that
I don't
in
think
the
that's been
credits or anything.
confirmed.
How does it succeed at this thing that Aaron made up? I guess it does a pretty good job. I don't know. What do you want me to say?
I didn't make it up. I thought about it, and I looked at a bunch of reviews, and a whole bunch of reviews are like, this is about 9/11.
Okay, like I said, I didn't make it up. I thought about it. And then I found people that confirmed what I thought. I mean, no, I'm not saying that's impossible. It's just like the movie doesn't explicitly...
No, it does not
it's just,
explicitly say that.
I think if you said, hey, what do we think about it being this like parable of 9/11, you were just like, how does it succeed at this thing that it never said it was trying to do?
I am creating a piece of entertainment here, so I will use hyperbole at times to entertain at least Hans, who seems thoroughly entertained.
Well, it's like,
What
how does this movie succeed at being an all-you-can-eat like seafood restaurants? Like, not very well, not good by that criteria.
Not
I was
great.
just waiting for the like. What do we think of the twist? Or does this
Yeah.
is a shame all in or a shame all win? Or like, how does this succeed?
At being 9/11.
Well, there is one scene that does make me think it is explicitly about maybe not 9/11 like as an event,
Right.
but in like the years following 9/11,
Yeah.
like post 9/11 America, and that's when the park ranger arrives at like the ranger station, and M. Night is reading the newspaper. Every article in the newspaper that he's holding is about murders,
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
it's just a
Person
whole bunch of
stabbed,
different
like,
murders.
yeah.
And then the radio is playing in the background, and it's just listing off recent disasters.
Yeah, okay, so
That's really just Philly, though.
okay, no, because I'm with you, Aaron. I do feel like...
Yeah, I'm saying, okay, let me make it very clear. I don't know that this is a
Right.
commentary on
Right.
9/11. I think it's likely that it is, maybe implicitly. I think it's more about our response to societal ideas of danger and creating closed off insular societies
Yes.
in response to that
Yes.
by creating fake dangers.
Yes. Yeah,
Like
no,
you create a mythos, a fake history, and then you go and live in that instead of the real world.
No, this movie is absolutely 100%. I get the vibe that it is M. Night Shyamalan saying,
Yeah.
like, the world feels like a more dangerous place now than it did previously. How do we respond to that?
Yes.
Here is one potential way people respond to that, and here's me exploring that space.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
obviously, in 2004, part of that is 9/11. And I imagine that even though he, like, is not a Middle Eastern man himself, I imagine being a man of color, it's, like, not just 9/11, but also, like, I'm sure he was exposed to prejudice and hate and fallout, and people reacting to him in response, like 9/11 and also the continuing effects of that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
yes,
And
but when you're
this-
just like, how is this as a 9/11 movie? I'm like, slow your roll, bucko. I do think it is an interesting exploration of that. It is like, we haven't actually talked about this in a minute because he hasn't been doing this, but this is a pretty good just like what if premise movie when you're like, hey,
Yeah.
what if like, you know, the serial killer
I was
like,
thinking
trapped
about
at a
that
concert.
during the movie, yeah.
I was
Yeah.
thinking like, hey, what if like these people were just like scared of the modern world, so they just like had the means to create their own hidden like
Yeah.
slice of life where they just didn't interact with the outside world. And that is
What if
like
a billionaire just
what
decided,
if?
I'm going to nope out of literally everything.
and I think kind of going
Take all
off,
my
we
friends
kind of
with me.
we had a measurement of like, is the execution more or less or equally as interesting as the premise? I
Yeah.
feel like this one's kind of like in the middle. Like, yeah, yeah, I
Mm-hmm.
guess that's kind of something that could happen. Like,
I think there's a little bit more going on there.
yeah,
Than just the strict premise of it. Because of, so there are two things that I think are really, really fascinating about this movie as exploring that premise of what
Right.
if billionaire and his friends just decided to escape from reality because they have the means to do so and they're
Right.
afraid of the real world. I think there are two things that are interesting about that. One is the self-mythologizing.
Mm-hmm.
Like, why did they feel the need to come up with monsters?
Mm-hmm.
Like, create monsters and even dress up as monsters and be
Mm-hmm.
the monsters to keep everybody in the village. I think that's an interesting idea. And two, most people who live in this fake society, this village, are not particularly interested in the monsters most of the time. They're
Just
more
the village
interested in
drama.
gossip.
the village
The
drama.
village drama. That's
If
what
you
they're
had
much-
Well, and that
like,
definitely
nothing
feels
to
like
do all
commentary,
day
yeah.
and all of your needs provided for you, what would
mean,
you do?
But also, I think that does feel like a potential commentary that, you know, you have the war on
Yeah.
terror going on, but also you open up like, you know, like this is like a commentary in the tabloids. Like, oh, what's Britney Spears and Anna Nicole Smith up to? Like,
Yeah, that is just more interesting to more people
Right.
than
this thing
geopolitics.
going on over
Like-
there, don't go over there. It's dangerous.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think one of the ways that the film conveys that in a way that I really loved was the first like 3 or 4 minutes of the movie is just like dialogueless vibes. It's just showing people going about their day and doing stuff.
Vibes.
The word vibes has come up a lot this episode. I'm sorry.
Almost as
I'm
much as the
sorry.
word village.
I apologize. But the first few minutes of this movie is just showing people doing stuff. So little kids washing dishes and like splashing each other with the dishwater. To ladies out on the front porch, you know, just sweeping the porch clean and being silly and dancing. And just people going about their lives. They're happy, they're joyful. They distract themselves from their work. They like to gossip. They like to play around and make jokes. And then there's like this sudden intrusion. So the color red is used.
The bad
as,
color.
Like, that's the bad.
The bad
color.
color.
Bad color.
The bad color.
It attracts them.
Yeah, it attracts the monster. So everyone is told you're not allowed to use like bright red in anything. Umber and ochre, those are fine.
Or
But,
also, like,
red.
red hair is
They
apparently
do
fun.
have brick buildings.
Also, tons of people in this village have red hair. There's so many redheads in this village.
Okay, but also this is another like in the opening scene. It's like dialogueless. You just have
Yeah.
these like two women like sweeping a porch, and then they like immediately look out of frame, and they're
Yeah.
like clearly concerned about something. And it's like a red flower, and they just like pick it up and they just like bury it in the ground, and they just go back to their thing.
Yeah.
That was really
Yeah.
cool. And then when you have a character
love
like,
that.
oh no, red is the bad color. We can't have the bad color in the village.
Yeah. Hey,
I like the vibes more than the explanation of the vibes.
M. Please trust me.
Movies Night
Subtle.
Shyamalan.
Please trust me.
Just be subtle.
I know you can do subtle. I know you can do
subtle.
it.
Movies Night Shyamalan. We're here for you.
Mr.
More
Movies.
trap. Give us more trap, please.
Yeah, so in terms of the ranking of like the concept movies as it were, like you have
Yeah,
Old was less interesting than the
What if a
premise
beach
could
makes
be.
you old?
Yeah, the beach that makes
Yeah.
you old. I thought like Knock the Cabin was like, yeah, I guess that's what would happen with that premise, and then Trap was like better. Trap was like, oh, that's more interesting than like I
yeah.
thought that was interesting. This is like between, for me at least, a Knock at the Cabin and a Trap. Like it is slightly above, but not as high as it could be. Like,
Yeah.
oh, the way you executed the premise in terms of how interesting the premise itself is. If you just
Yeah.
said, hey, what if a billionaire sequestered himself in a village, like, and you just kind of had a couple friends like BS about it for like a few minutes, I think this movie was more interesting than what that result would be.
And that's kind of the Purge movies, isn't that?
The Purge movies.
I've never seen those.
Those are like the quintessential, hey, what if? And like people
Yeah.
just can sit and talk about it for an hour completely separate from
Yeah.
the movie itself. Yeah. Is that what you're asking?
Yeah.
Or?
Well,
I haven't
just
seen
the-
all
also,
of them, so I can't guarantee the quality.
I have a memory of one of them being about like a really rich family that has a way to just lock down their entire house during the purge, and like that's what that particular purge movie is about, is wealth. Which this movie is not so much about wealth, even though
really.
wealth is the thing that makes the whole thing possible.
The wealth is just the explanation for how it can happen. It's not really about it, though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is interesting that doesn't really come into. It doesn't feel like it's part of the commentary.
Although, I think if you were to stretch it, the most interesting thing you could take out of that, the most interesting kind of conversation you could start around that is like that we haven't really addressed this, but like earlier in the movie starts with a kid dying of a preventable disease that they didn't have the medicine, and Joaquin Phoenix says, "Can I walk through the woods to go get medicine to prevent this from happening in the future?" And they tell him no. And then Joaquin Phoenix gets stabbed, and Bryce Dallas Howard is like, "Can I go get this medicine to save Joaquin Phoenix?" And they say yes, partially because like she's blind, so she won't see the outside world. Like if they sent anyone else, Joaquin Phoenix would see the guy pull up in the Land Rover and be like, "Wait a minute, something's up." So she's blind, and so she doesn't. So you could kind of extract like a little bit of like, this is like the libertarian billionaire fantasy. Like I can just make my own world and have control over it. Like, is it ethical that the village elders are having people die of preventable diseases because they don't want to ruin the solution? So you could kind of tie like the money and class and power, like you could create a discussion out of that, but it doesn't feel like that's the main aim of the movie. It's more so like him being a billionaire is like the means to the end of like explaining how can they get away without being discovered by the outside world. Yeah. But it's not like there's nothing to chew on there when it comes to wealth. No. It's just
feels like it was, for me, it was a weirdly small part of the movie.
It's that all of the elders have a really conspicuous secret box in their house. And he opens his secret box and there's newspaper clippings of how he's a billionaire.
Yeah.
That's it.
Well, because he like inherited his wealth, right? Because his billionaire brother
the
was
newspaper's
murdered
really
for his
about,
money.
Yeah. Well, he was a professor at the University of Pennsylvania of history.
Yeah.
This does also feel a bit like what secretly every single like academic wants to do is just like, what if I just like do like a case study? What if I like do a study, but I don't need IRB approval and I don't actually have to like sit and get formalized like peer reviewed like results? What if I'm just like, hey, let's try this and see what happens if we just created a historic village in the modern day. How would people respond? Like, this is just what every history professor wants to do, and it would do if they were a billionaire, whether or not they live in Philadelphia. Being in Philadelphia doesn't hurt, but no hoagies.
That's what I wanted to say about the movie.
Yeah. So, twist. We don't really need to get too far into it, right?
Oh yeah.
It's obvious. Like this is a Shyamalan twist.
There is a twist. Yeah, it takes place in the modern day.
Which actually I do.
2004.
So Aaron, you said you kind of like predict. You were like fishing for it like early on. I do have a question. So when I looked this up online, I saw that there was like he was intentionally trying to keep this a secret because there was going to be a twist, and this was like he was established like, okay, Shyamalan's the twist guy. The script was leaked to the internet, and people like reviewed the movie like a year before like the movie even came out. And
that
so
sucks.
people saw. So if you like saw a review that said, hey, by the way, this historic village isn't actually a historic village, it's in the modern day, and you know, like if you just straight up had that told to you verbatim from the start before watching the movie, what do you think it would change anything for you personally, or?
I mean, I think it would. I mean, I caught on pretty early that it would like there was something fishy going on that with this village, and that it wasn't real in some sense. And I kept thinking maybe. So my thought was, before it was revealed that the monsters were fake, I thought maybe it was like more of a science fiction film or something.
Okay. Yeah.
That it is set in the modern day and the village is fake, but the monsters might be real.
This is a Wayward Pines situation.
Yeah. Yeah. So I thought it was that kind of thing going on.
I mean, because I don't necessarily think it's bad if you get like 20 minutes in and kind of like start to suspect. Because I feel like at least that process of you being like, hey, something's up, like that almost keeps you interested in the movie more than if you just like blindly assume everything's fine.
Yeah. I was really paying attention to how people talked for the rest of the movie. Once I noticed Sigourney Weaver using like not quite period accurate speech, so I was like, oh, okay, there's something going on here, and I paid really, really close attention to the dialogue.
Yeah. So I did know that that was the twist, and I was still having a great time the whole way through. Like I maybe not great time. I was having a good time. I liked it. 3.5 stars. Like 3.5 stars liked it. The more I think about it, like I truly think that this was this is a Shyamalan win for me. I liked it. It was fun. Even though I knew what was going to happen, it was still like it was still sort of a fun analysis in my head. And as it happened, I was like, oh, I get it. That's cool. I like it.
That's her. I mean, yeah, I was with Aaron, actually. I knew this one had a twist, and I knew people like felt some type of way about the twist. I didn't know exactly what it was. I do feel like, I don't think it would have like ruined the movie for me. I do almost feel like it would just have made me a little bit more impatient during that first hour when I'm just like, okay, like when's the reveal? Like if you're expecting a reveal, you're just like, okay, let's just get to the reveal. Like even if it's just subconscious, some part of
it did take me like 20 minutes to just like get into the rhythm of the movie.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, when is the plot going to happen? And then after 20 minutes, I'm like, I guess we're not getting a plot with this one. So I'll just chill in it.
When in the movie does the movie happen?
I honestly,
I'll just hang out with it.
For as prevalent as that was, I was just kind of rolling with it. It wasn't, there wasn't a part of this one that felt dull because the plot wasn't happening. We've had that in the past. We've had that in a lot of movies recently that we've seen, not Shyamalan related, just like, what was the one with the
Haven't the thought.
Give us something to help you with.
like ultra futuristic, like the guy's magnum opus that was terrible, that we hate.
Megalopolis.
Megalopolis?
You can't say we because Aaron loved that one.
I like
You
that
can't say
one.
we hate it.
I hated
Aaron loved
Megalopolis, and the whole time I'm sitting there
But Aaron did
thinking,
love
Contrarian at
Megalopolis.
heart.
the whole time I'm sitting
Hans,
there
Aaron did
thinking,
love
when the heck
Megalopolis.
is like anything
I
gonna
did
happen?
like that movie.
When is something gonna happen that actually makes the plot progress, that makes sense, that makes something like meaningful? And it just didn't happen. And in this movie, that also didn't happen, but it wasn't a drag for it. Like, it wasn't a detriment. I was just sort of rolling with it.
But in Megalopolis, he does say, hey, can you come here and look at my boner? And then he shoots someone with a crossbow that he has hidden.
The world's tiniest crossbow.
Hey,
It's just
not
a
that
regular
tiny.
bow and arrow. It's not a crossbow. It's
Bow
he
and
just
arrow,
has, like,
sorry.
this
Yeah,
tiny,
bow and the world's
it
tiniest
is
like
bow and
little
arrow.
dollar
tiny bow and
store
arrow, right?
bow and arrow.
Okay, in fairness, though, that's really close to the end of the movie. Like,
Well, okay, but the movie does start. You do have the part where he says, like, you think this entitles you to plumb the depths of my Emersonian mind, and that's pretty funny. So go back to the club.
I guess so, but there was also a lot of
Megalopolis
nothing
is
happening.
just like a compilation
there's
of
a
like
lot
really
of-
funny, weird moments that they unfortunately made into a movie.
Yes,
It's
like
just
there-
a really long string of bits.
yeah, pretty much, and,
And
a
like,
whole lot of nothing
hey,
happened
I
in
have
between.
something to say about society in between the bits.
Yeah. Yeah.
Anyway,
This was
that-
better
like
than
that for
Megalopolis.
me-
This was much better
Yes.
than Megalopolis.
For me, that was just the first one that came to mind. But there are a lot of other movies where there's that same sort of feeling where it's like a whole lot of nothing, and I'm just waiting for something to happen, waiting for the plot to progress. And in this one, the plot wasn't progressing, but I also wasn't waiting for it to progress. I was perfectly happy to sit there and watch these people gossip around town. I was having a good time.
I think it's because like there was stuff happening, but it wasn't plot happening. Like
Yeah.
because
Yeah,
people were like progressing in their relationships. People were talking about stuff going on around them. There wasn't like a main storyline, but you were seeing progress. Like things were changing throughout the village. It felt like there were a bunch of like unspoken time skips
Yeah.
that like months pass
Yeah.
within the first
Yeah, like whenever
5 minutes or so.
When she like is like, oh, I hope I find another man. And there's like
And then-
there's three bachelors of her age in this village that she could marry, and she strikes out with one.
Yeah.
She's like, I hope I find another guy, and it like just hard cuts
Yeah.
to their wedding. And like, yeah, there's like some time passing there.
Yeah.
Like there's some really
Yeah,
obvious
yeah,
times, and then probably some more subtle times.
Yeah, so I think like a significant amount of time passes in the first half of the movie. The second half of the movie, you're getting like minute by
Yeah.
minute
It's like real
to
time,
everything
basically.
that's going on.
Yeah.
But for the first half of the movie, it's like a lot of time passing by, and there's progress going on. Like stuff is changing.
Yeah.
Things are moving along. It's just not very. It's not. There's not like a single through line.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think I was perfectly fine with that. I was I don't know what you call it. I'm just like bobbing in the waves, just rolling with the movie,
You're
just
flow
having a
state.
good old time.
You're just
You're in the flow
immersed
state.
in it.
Yeah. Actually, immersed would be better if you are like a bob in the
The flow
water.
state.
Immersed would be a good way to say it. I mean, yeah, maybe we'll see how I feel about it after sleeping on it, because there are, to be clear, there are a lot of quote unquote like slow, boring vibes movies that I do really like. I don't want the impression to be that just, I have the TikTok attention span and this was too slow for me. But
or that like
but also
the only legitimate kind of movie is a plot-based
Right.
movie, right?
Or that even like movies have to entertain to be good.
Yeah.
I think we just talked about that last
So,
week,
like-
if anything. But
Yeah.
I think on one end of the spectrum, you have like Marvel movies, which are 100% plot. It's just there's stuff going on. And then on the other hand, you have French experimental. No one actually does anything throughout the whole movie, just pure vibes montages. And this is sitting maybe a little closer to the vibes end of that spectrum than a lot of people are comfortable with.
Yeah.
this is a lot
And that's
more.
fine.
This is a lot more
You don't have
GN
to love
Dealman
that.
23 Quadrucamus 18 1080 Bruxelles like than it is.
Yeah,
Avengers.
that one.
Yeah,
you
I
know.
know I said
Like
that
that
wrong.
one.
Yeah, yeah.
I know I can't pronounce that French at all. I know. I said
No,
that
no,
wrong.
it's just because it's just like this one, this, this. Yeah, no, of course I know. Of course we know.
Much more like that
Uh-huh.
than the Avengers. Or
My
whatever.
favorite movie.
So it's if you know that going in, and unfortunately, if you've listened to this podcast, I do feel like it's better going in not knowing what the twist is. If you've listened, you know what the twist is. I'm sorry. Retroactively, you should pause this podcast 5 minutes in and just go watch the movie.
Oh, if you're listening, you can't. We're a movie. We are
But
at our
also-
core a movie review podcast. You can't listen to the movie review podcast and then say, I can't believe they spoiled it."
People can. I'm not saying you should, but like you can. People do have that response. It's not the correct response, but also
Well,
you
those
could.
people are stupid.
But also, those people are the reason why the movie has to explain exactly what's going on. But also, you
multiple
could
times.
watch The
Yeah.
Witch or The Lighthouse by Robert Eggers. Those
No.
are both like cool vibes movies. Yeah,
Those are vibes.
Anya
movies.
Taylor-Joy,
I haven't
Robin
seen The
Innocent,
Lighthouse.
and The Witch.
I would like to see The
Lighthouse
Lighthouse.
Willem
You
Dafoe,
shouldn't see The
Robert
Witch.
Pattinson.
It's really, really irritating and bad.
That's not true.
Um,
Open your mind, Hans.
So
No,
more,
I did. I tried.
More directly related to the project we're working on right now, the Shyamalan twist,
Shyamalan twist,
as
yeah.
a concept.
Yes,
We're getting to the very beginning of his career.
this is where he becomes the
where-
twist guy.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I think in this movie, maybe he's leaning into that.
Yes.
He's like, you know what? I'm going to be the twist guy.
Yep.
Let me embrace that.
Yep.
Yeah. For
I
sure.
think as we've seen, because like all the movies we've watched before this, which are his later movies, because we're doing this backwards, I think he becomes less and less the twist
Yes.
guy. It feels like as we go on, he just kind of abandons that. And so I think a question, put a pin in this. I'm editing this episode, so remember this for later. I think a question we need to ask ourselves in like the wrap-up episode when we're evaluating Shyamalan as an auteur, as an artist. Is it fair in the year of our Lord 2025 to speak of Shyamalan as, this guy who does twists in his movies? Is that like a fair evaluation, or was that something from like his earlier career that he's abandoned at this point and we just need to move on from that evaluation? Don't think of Shyamalan that way.
It's interesting to pull that question now after we've been asking that question and treating this whole project like that is the case
Yes.
for the past year.
Yeah.
No, I know that. I'm aware. But I think this feels like a fulcrum to me. This feels like an inflection point.
We also said Lady in the Water was an inflection point.
And the Lady in the Water was the Rosetta Stone.
that's-
This
yeah, the
is an
Rosetta Stone.
inflection
That was-
point.
That was the rebellion phase.
Yeah.
It was not the rebellion phase. I
think Lady in the Water was, I'm going to make a self-indulgent
Yeah.
like me piece.
Yeah.
I'm gonna make the thing that I
the
want.
next
No changes, no reservations, no concessions. I'm just gonna make the Shyamalan movie.
I keep like hinting at this. I actually feel like the big turning point, inflection point, is just whenever this Newsweek magazine that had Shyamalan on the cover saying the next Spielberg, whenever that was published, that's the inflection point of his
When
career.
was that published?
I don't know. After Signs.
Should have a date on it.
It's when the war on Big Fat was declared. I don't know. That's
What's
just the other
that
headline story. It's really the JPEG I keep sharing. It's just really small and like not like it's hard to read the date.
God.
But that's the
Oh
inflection
man,
point.
it's such a shame. It's impossible to find a better
Yeah.
one, huh?
It is. Does this person just have their actual?
I'm pretty
address
sure
on this
Time
screenshot?
Magazine or whatever
Newsweek.
magazine this is, Newsweek keeps digital scans of all of their covers somewhere.
Hold on. 2002. Looks like 2002 potentially.
Okay. So like probably right around the time he was starting work on The Village.
Yeah, this was like between Signs and The Village, or maybe around the time Signs was coming out. I feel like that was actually the inflection point for his career, because that's how you get I am the genius writer that will save the world with my writings.
Yeah.
I do like this magazine cover, After Tobacco, The War on Big Fat, and it has a picture of a really incredible burger, and it made me very hungry.
Hans! They declared our war on fat, and we are losing that war. 20 years later, we are losing. America has lost that war every single day since it was declared.
I've already lost.
Hans, be nice to yourself.
I really
Be nice to yourself.
I'm hungry.
was
I
speaking
didn't
nationally.
eat dinner today.
I wasn't speaking
I had a really,
individually,
really
I was
late
speaking
lunch.
societally. So to answer your question, Aaron, I think for many people, they became aware of Shyamalan during this period where he was the twist guy, and then they just completely checked out. And most people have not watched him post like 2010. So based on that, if I think there's a good chance if you say Shyamalan, for a lot of people, like he is still the twist guy to them.
Yeah.
Watching
I
he's
think that's
not. Like
indisputable.
nothing that we've watched
No.
makes me think like, oh yeah, that's not in the top 10. We can talk about he's the weird dialogue guy. We can talk about how he's like the single set guy. We can talk about how he's like,
if
all
I
of
wanted to
these
describe
things.
his like style, his writing and directorial style, I would not include twists as a major part of that.
It would be
at this
like
point.
starting with like a hey, what if concept, shooting in like one location.
Yeah.
Like all of these things we could list off. He's not the twist guy. He hasn't been the twist guy for a while. He hasn't been the twist guy
Usually
for
about
at
a
least 20
character
years.
being confined in
Yeah.
a space.
I just like that we're realizing this now.
I mean, we realized it like probably
Yeah.
3 movies in. Like we realized.
I
months
want to
ago.
articulate
We're just
it.
talking about
I'm not
it now.
just realizing it.
Yeah.
I'm articulating it.
Yes.
I am turning to the camera and saying out loud.
Saying
what
out
I'm
loud.
thinking and feeling.
Hey,
Right
dummies!
into
If
the
you haven't
camera
figured it
lens.
out by now, he's not actually the twist guy.
Yeah.
We can't, Hans. We can't trust our audience either. No, I'm just kidding. We can trust you. We know you're
Actually, we
smart.
have a very intelligent.
All of our listeners,
very,
are
very
smart,
well-read
beautiful, kind, and I would
audience.
give every single one of them a big old hug if I saw them. You guys are great. You're smarts.
Yeah.
You know what's going on. Cinephiles.
Yes.
We're
really
part
hungry.
of the intelligentsia, Hans.
We are.
Intelligence.
I'm an academic.
Yeah, coastal elites on the coast of the Monongahela River. One more shout out to
I'm
my
on
man Roger
Susquehanna.
Deakins. This movie does something really interesting. I talked about the framing very briefly. I just didn't get a chance to talk about it. Specifically, if you watch this movie, just paying attention to like the way it uses doorways and window frames and like the columns of porches, like it's just so delightful. The way it shoots outside characters from inside looking through a door frame or window, and it shoots inside characters outside looking at there's just so many fun little, very motivated camera movements that I really appreciated. This movie is, I believe Aaron used the word sumptuous in the visual department. I would agree with that. I don't know. You can insert that somewhere else. I just wanted to say that and I didn't get a chance.
I really loved these long, like almost meditative shots on just countryside. It's just
A lot of
on
handhelds,
the forest
a
or
very
on the
slight
distant hills.
tremor in most shots. Like this was not locked down on a dolly. Like that's an interesting choice.
No, I mean I would expect nothing less from Roger Deakins.
Yeah, it does do the really fun Hollywood thing. Whenever Adrian Brody is like approaching Walking Phoenix, like you can tell 10 seconds before he gets stabbed that he's going to get stabbed just by the way the camera moves in on him. It's hard to describe, but you know what I'm talking about when I say that.
Yeah.
That was fun.
Yeah.
It's expertly done. Would you recommend someone watch this movie, or would you recommend someone watch something else instead? And what would it be?
I would absolutely recommend you watch this movie if you go in knowing that at least for like a good bit here, you're just living with these people.
You're rolling
just
with it.
Getting
You're in
to
the
know
waves.
the village.
You're going with the flow.
Just getting to know the village. It's a very pretty village. Hang out with the villagers for a little bit. If you're willing to do that, then I'd say go ahead and watch it. If you need a little bit more of the plot than that, I'll have to come up with some sort of recommendation. I don't know what I would recommend for you in this kind of genre. I think I would recommend like post-apocalypse films or something like what is the one with Jim from The Office?
Quiet Place.
A Quiet Place.
Sure. Yeah. Okay.
I don't know why that's funny.
I mean, it worked. I knew what you meant, like right away.
Yeah. Knew exactly what movie I was talking
Yeah.
about.
You know what? Actually, I think I would also recommend you watch this movie because I had a good time with it. It was fun. Just kind of roll with it. But something very similar to this, you should also watch if you enjoy something similar like this. Last of the Dogmen. I think I've talked about that
You
before,
have
maybe.
definitely
You have.
talked about that before.
That's
I
much more
still have
relevant
not
now than
seen
it
it.
would have been previously, because that is about an entire culture completely untouched by the modern day.
Oh, I did also see people online comparing this to Midsummer. I have not seen Midsummer, so I cannot wholeheartedly recommend that. But I know a lot of people online are saying, "Oh, this is like Midsummer before Midsummer."
I mean, I would definitely say, if based on what we've said, I think at this point, based on what we've said, if you're interested in watching it. So rather than like give you a recommendation instead, what I will say is if you do watch it and you like can do it, if you like mess with those vibes and like waiting and like having like that slower experience, if you want something that's even slower but also even more horror, like somehow even less stuff happened but also still scarier, you should check out Skin and Marink. That was another movie that I watched and I was like, I didn't really enjoy watching that, but I do like still think about it and like kind of I enjoy having watched it.
Yeah,
you should check that
I
one
get
out.
that.
But that is like please, like, I know this is hard in the year 2025. I know I'm asking a lot. But like, turn down the lights, put the phone away, don't look at the phone, just look at the one screen, don't look at the multiple screens, don't have big, medium, and small screen, just have medium screen. Or big screen if you can. If you watch Skin and Marink, I want you all in, both feet, dive in. If you watch this and you're like, I want even less, you know who you are. You freaks out there, you know who you are.
Oh, definitely. That's The Village, I
Aaron,
guess.
Ba-da-ba-ba-ba. That's it. Nailed it.
I don't really have anything else to say about The Village. That's going to be a pretty short episode.
Yeah.
This recording's an hour and a half long. I don't think so.
It'll be like around an hour.
I'm going to cut out at
Yeah.
least 20 minutes of that, yeah.
You like hot dogs, right?
So you have Bryce Dallas Howard, who plays Ivy Walker, who is a mostly blind young woman who is living in this village. The village feels like it's late 18th, early 19th century America.
What's that? What you got, Zach? What you got over there?
I tried to
Cracking open a Diet Coke, huh?
I tried to be
Cracking open a Diet Coke right in the middle of that, huh? We got a
literally-
Justin McElroy over here,
I
huh?
literally held it like under my desk. I tuned my microphone too well.
It was overwhelming,
I don't-
actually.
I don't know what to tell you, man.
I'm gonna need to go back. I'm gonna need to adjust like my gain and everything to specifically filter out can opening noises.
Or how
Or
about
you could just crack them
all the
open
cans
before we start
before.
recording.
No,
or
because
maybe
I-
when we're not recapping the
No,
movie.
because I had half of a Diet Coke I needed to finish, and I finished that one, so then I needed to open up my Diet Coke for the... So that's why I just opened it now. I just finished the first one.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, go again.